YouTube, welcome back to Tucci's Backyard Builds. So, I've been having a lot of requests from you guys. Y'all wanted me to make a video to go over all the parts that I use to LS swap my G-body. So I decided to make this quick video just to go over all the parts, including part numbers of everything that I use to LS swap my G-bodies. So, let's get to it. Alright, YouTube, like I mentioned in this video, I'll be going over all the parts, including part numbers of everything that I use to LS swap my G-bodies. If you're new to my channel, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate all the love and support from all you guys, man. With that being said, let's get to it. Just to go over something real quick, I've done a total of 5 LS swaps, and 4 has been on G-bodies, and 1 has been on the 67 Camaro SS, in which I'm still currently working on. So my first LS swap was on my old 1986 Buick Regal. I then LS swapped my 1987 Monte Carlo SS, in which I did a twin turbo. I then LS swapped my 1986 Pontiac Grand Prix 2+2, in which I also LS twin turboed it. And lastly, I did my 1987 Buick Regal, which is LS turbocharged. And I'm still currently working on the 67 Camaro SS. So on all my G-body builds, I've used the same LS swap kits. I had great experience on the first one, which I mentioned is my old 1986 Buick Regal. I love the way the motor set, the transmission set. I had that right enough clearance. The motor and firewall, the AC box, everything had the right amount of clearance. That's why I stayed with the same brand, same kit through all my G-body builds. So to start off first, for the engine cross member, I used the Holley clamshells with the bushings. That's what I use for the engine cross member. As for the motor, so they are not adjustable. You know, there's so many brands out there. You could get them adjustable if you want to. For me, the ones that I bought were perfect for me to give me that right amount of clearance from the firewall, from the AC box, and I have enough clearance in the front as well. As for the transmission cross member, I also went with Holley. Just remember, you have to pick either you got a 4060, 4080, or you got a Turbo 400, whatever transmission you have, they have the cross member for your transmission. And the reason why I like to stick with one brand, because everything is gonna line up perfect. I got a couple of friends that have done LS swaps and they ran into clearance issues. They had to modify where the engine mounts goes at, or they had to modify where the transmission cross member goes at, just because they went with different brands. I feel like if you stick with the same brand, everything is gonna align perfect. So as far as headers goes, I turbocharge all my G-bodies. I like using the Holley manifolds. If I'm going with a single turbo setup, if I'm going with a twin turbo setup, I like using the Flowtech forward facing headers. if you go in all motor, I've done shorty headers. I've done long tube headers, but I ran into issues. I always had clearance issues with long tube headers. I tried using different brands and they've all been the same. I have to bang the headers in, so I'd rather just go with shorty headers. I mean, if you want to go with long tube headers, I'm pretty sure there is a brand out there. I just don't want to give you guys any wrong information. You guys buying and then you're gonna have clearance issues like I did. But like I mentioned, I turbocharged all my LS swaps on my G-bodies. For a single turbo setup, I like using the Holley turbo manifolds, the crossover tubes in the back. Crossing the transmission is not in the front, so you have that nice clearance in the front to mount your turbos, and everything looks nice. So that's the reason why I like those Holley turbo manifolds. As far as, like I mentioned, the twin turbo setup, I like using the Flowtech forward-facing headers for all my twin turbo applications. So as far as the radiator goes, I like using the Griffin LS swap radiator. I use the Griffin radiator on all my G-body builds. It fit perfect, cools amazing, no issues at all. And they do come with the shroud and the dual fans with the relays as well. And then also an important stuff when you LS swap on these G-bodies, you need to change the oil pan because of the clearance. So I like using the Holley LS swap oil pan for the G-bodies. Very important, make sure that you get the one that's extra low clearance in the front. I ran into an issue once in which I purchased the wrong one and it was hitting against the engine cross member. So I had to return it and get the one that's extra low. So I make sure to put the correct part number here, that way you guys don't run into that issue. But yeah, I think that's pretty much goes over like the basic stuff, you know, the motor mounts, the transmission cross member, the oil pan. These are the most important stuff that you obviously gonna need to LS swap your G-bodies. Just to go over the pulley system that I like to use is the Holley mid-mount pulley system. And the reason why I like using the Holley mid-mount pulley system because it's very compact. So as y'all see, I like to turbocharge all my G-bodies. So I need the most clearance I could have in the front. That way I could run my twin turbos. One of the things, I'm kind of picky when it comes to the engine bay. On my G-body, I like having my wheel wells, my AC box, everything that's original on the G-body, I like to have it. I don't like to remove it. So one of the main reasons I go with the Holley mid-mount pulley system is because it's very compact. So it gives me that clearance that I need to run my twin turbos without any clearance issues with the wheel wells or whatever, you know? So I'm trying to think, I think that's pretty much everything that covers up as far as, you know, the parts, the main parts you're gonna need to LS swap a G-body. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's go to the backyard and let me show y'all my two G-bodies that I have here, and just to make sure I'm not missing anything. So yeah, YouTube, this is my 1987 Monte Carlo SS. So as I was explaining to you guys earlier, this is the reason why I go with the Holley mid-mount pulley system. So as you see, I need the most clearance that I need when running these twin turbos. Like I mentioned, I do not like removing my wheel wells or my AC box. As you see, everything is here. Nothing has been removed, nothing has been cut or anything. But in order to be able to run my twin turbo setup the way I did, it required to use that compact Holley mid-mount pulley system. Also the motor mounts that I went over earlier with the transmission cross member. As you notice, I have the right amount of clearance in the back by the AC box, everything, just to be able to run this setup here. So same thing on my 1986 Pontiac Grand Prix 2+2. Went with the same Holley mid-mount pulley system. Again, that way I could run my twin turbo setup without any clearance issues. Again, the same motor mounts, same transmission cross member, same radiator. So this is the radiator I'm talking about, which is the Griffin LS swap radiator. It does come just like that with the shroud and the dual fans. Comes with the relays. It comes with everything. So I don't think I'm missing anything else to go over as far to LS swap your G-body. Of course, you know, you're gonna have to customize your AC lines. As you notice, I got AC on all my G-bodies. I had to get those lines custom made. That you could probably go to your nearest AC where they do ACs for cars. They could do custom lines. For the power steering hoses, you could, you know, check out Jags or Summit. I like to go down here, Performance Shop near my house. My boy James from Race Fittings. I just get the fittings there with the hoses, build them up, and just put them in. And yeah, as far as intake goes, that all comes down to preference. This one is the Holley low ram intake manifold for a LS, and then my SS has a LSX intake. And the one that I have on my 1987 Buick Regal is a Holley split ram intake with the elbow. So yeah, YouTube, that pretty much covers the most important stuff to get when you LS swapping the G-body. You know, is those motor mounts and transmission cross member, you know, making sure everything aligns the way it's supposed to align. But that's everything that I use on my LS swap for my G-bodies. If you guys have any questions, concerns, please comment below, man. Let me know if you guys need any additional information. I'd be more than happy to help you out the best that I can. If you guys want me to go over the fuel system, if you guys want me to go over anything on my G-body builds, let me know and I'll work on it for my next video. But please comment below any questions you guys might have. Please comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Again, I appreciate all the love and support, man. Thank you guys so much, man. Till next time.